To hadith mentioned by the Imam under Bab al-Khawf min al-Shirk, the chapter regarding fearing idolatry. The first one, عن ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من مات وهو يدعو من دون الله ندا دخل النار. Whoever dies while ascribing partners to Allah enters the hellfire, or will enter the hellfire. Bukhari. And the second hadith is من حديث مسلم عن جابر رضي الله عنهما أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من لقي الله لا يشرك به شيئا دخل الجنة ومن لقيه يشرك به شيئا دخل النار. Whoever meets Allah on the day of judgment having not associated anyone with him in worship will enter paradise, and whoever meets him having committed shirk in any way will enter the hellfire. So these two hadith, they indicate that we have to be afraid of falling into idolatry from two angles. The first angle is that idolatry, committing or falling into polytheism, falling into shirk, yujibu an-nar, yujibu dukhul an-nar. It necessitates, it requires that a person be punished in the hellfire. So obviously we have to be afraid of that. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَاتَّقُوا النَّارَ الَّتِي أُعِدَّتْ لِلْكَافِرِينَ. Be afraid of the hellfire and everything that leads to the hellfire. So we have to be afraid of a shirk because it leads to the hellfire. The second angle that the hadith indicate that we should be afraid of a shirk is because it also prohibits dukhul al-jannah. It also prohibits entering into paradise. And we have to be afraid of anything that will deny us the opportunity to enter paradise. And so this is how the Imam, rahimahullah ta'ala, has completed this bab by mentioning to a hadith which tells us from two angles why we should be afraid of a shirk. I want to close by mentioning something as it relates to this hadith of Jabir radiallahu anhu. And that is that he said, that the Prophet said, "Man laqiya Allahu yushriku bihi shay'an dakhla an-nar." This word man is min alfadh al-umum. Woman. It's like the Prophet saying, whoever, ka'inan man kan, whoever is, if they commit a shirk, they will enter the hellfire. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter what they've done on the other side, all the good they've done. They could be a person who they worshipped Allah, but they also did what? Abad al-ghayr. They also worshipped other than Allah. And they might have been min abad al-nas. They might have been one of the people who worshipped Allah so fervently and was so dedicated to the worship of Allah. But they did what? They also occasionally would do what? Commit a shirk. That would encompass them as well. Is that not so? Because he said, man, whoever it is, if they commit shirk, dakhla an-nar. And we know that this is true. It doesn't matter how good you are on this side. I worship Allah. I get up at night and pray to Allah. I fast during the day for Allah. I give charity for Allah. But then I also do what? I commit some shirk. You see what I'm saying? Some people, they'll downplay it. They'll acknowledge, yeah, I go to shrines. Sometimes I visit my relatives in certain countries and they do this, and just to humor them, because it's a big thing where I'm from, we go to the shrines together. And they do things, and I do it with them to humor them and to avoid what? To avoid an argument. I do some shirk, but, I also I do these things for Allah, And they think, khalas, I'm going to be okay. Because I have so much good on this side. The Prophet is saying, men, doesn't matter who it is, and doesn't matter what they've done of good. If they do this shirk, they'll enter the hellfire. We know that this is how we should interpret it, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَقَدْ أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ وَإِلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ لَيَحْبَطَنَّ عَمَلُكَ وَلَتَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. طيب, Let's look at it together. وَلَقَدْ أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ. It has been revealed to you. Who is you? Muhammad sallallahu وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. And those who came before you. Who is those who came before him? Al-Anbiya. Subhanallah. Abad al-Nas. The people who worshipped Allah the most and worshipped Him the best. لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ. If you, O Muhammad sallallahu and those who came before you, if you worshipped other than Allah, لَيَحْبَطَنَّ عَمَلُكَ. Your deeds, the deeds of Muhammad sallallahu would be what? Would be null and void. وَلَتَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And you would have been from the losers. If this is true about the Prophet ﷺ and his brothers from the Anbiya, it's even more true for what? For those who are less than them. And so this chapter, it tells us how important it is for us to be the people who we're afraid of committing a shirk. And when you're afraid of something, you're more vigilant. You're more careful. And being careful is key for us to be successful in this bab. Why? Because as we're going to see, and Ibn Masudi explained, a shirk, some of its forms and its manifestations is more clandestine, is more harder to recognize than a black ant crawling on a black stone on a moonless night. You guys see that? Sometimes people just don't see it for what it is, and they end up falling into it. So we need to be vigilant. And one of the things that helps us be vigilant is to be what? To be afraid of a shirk, to be afraid of committing it. And this is part and parcel of what? Tahqiq-ul-tawheed, which talked about the previous chapter. Man haqqa at-tawheed dakhil jannah bila adab, bila hisab wala adab. The one who, they achieve and they embody and they fulfill a tawheed in its completest form, they'll enter paradise without reckoning or punishment. Part of that tahqiq is what? Is being afraid of the opposite, the shirk. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who listen to the talk and follow the best of it. تفضل حاتم.
So should we understand this hadith also in light of